What's happened here today is we've had a swarm of bees leave one of our hives and we're going to try and capture it. The swarm has landed on a tree just behind us, so we're only 20-25 feet from where the actual hive that they come out of. So what we're doing now is we are going to entice them into another bee box. So what we have is empty frames in the hive, and we're going to bribe them with honey. So we're putting honey into the frames. So once we get the swarm over to the box, they'll decide if the box is in the right location. They'll see the honey in it, and generally they get excited when they see honey. It's just like free food. So then they'll have to make up their mind that they like it, and then they'll move in on their own. So now we're going to try and get the swarm out of the tree, and it will involve cutting a branch. So once they decide they want to move into this hive, they'll start having to clean out the existing combs. They'll clean them out and build all the wax back up to meet their specifications. The queen will start laying eggs, and then the other bees will start storing the honey. So this honey that we put into the box just there now, they will have that stored away in, I bet you, in less than 2 to 3 hours. They'll already have it in the comb. So now we have to get the branch out of the tree. So we take the whole branch over to the hive, and you can see the swarm more clearly now. So that dark spot is all bees. And we'll just end up setting that branch right on top of the hive. If you have an existing hive, sometimes the hive will get too tight. There'll be more bees in there than there's room for, and then the hive decides that it's going to separate. So they will actually form some queen cells, and they feed, it's still the same egg that's in the cell, but they'll feed it what they call a royal jelly, and it'll turn that bee into a queen. And when the queen will hatch, it'll fly out, it'll mate on its maiden voyage, and then when it comes back to the hive will decide on what bees are leaving, and it's generally the older queen that leaves. And then this is what happens. The queen flies out, the ones that are leaving will fill up on honey and follow her, and she'll land on a branch, and then they'll form up on her. And that's how we get what looks like the swarm, that bundle of bees. From there, what'll happen is scouts will be sent out, and it's their job to find and identify a potential hive. And they will come back, they will communicate to the other bees where the hive is, how far it is, how big that potential hive is, and so on. And from there, they will whittle down on which hive that they're going to move to, or which location. And then once it's a collective decision, once they decide, they'll actually fly off in a swarm, and you'll see the whole swarm. It'll just be a cloud of bees flying across the field, leaving if they're going to a new location. So they'll hang on a branch like this. It could be for 2 hours, it could be for a whole day before they decide to fly off. So the trick is to catch them soon enough and provide them with a suitable location and a suitable hive. Now you'll see they're starting to leave the branch. You'll see some of them will have their rear ends in the air and their wings are flapping. What they're doing is sending out a scent. And what the scent is, it's telling all the other bees that's flying around still that we found a hive, and those bees then will home in on the scent and arrive at the new location. Because the scouts that are coming back now aren't going back to the swarm hanging in the branch. The swarm has moved on. So they'll follow the scent trail to the new hive, the new location. So you'll start to see the bees basically leaving the branch and going down into the hive. At the front door of the hive, there's a slit along the bottom, and whenever the hive is set up, this will be the entrance door to the hive. And you'll see some of the bees in the bottom left-hand corner. Again, their rear ends are in the air and they're fanning. So that means that, again, they're sending that scent out that this is the location, our new home, and everybody come here. As the process goes, you can start to see more and more of the tree branch because the bees are leaving. And here we're about 5 hours after we'd set the branch on, and you'll see that there really isn't a bee in sight. The branch is bare and all of them are down inside the hive and they're all working. So they're setting up shop and they're happy. So now we're going to move the new hive over with the other hives into the little bit of a bee yard. So you set them up south facing, and then a screen goes on, put the lid on, and then we set up the front runway. And all that is a little bit of a landing pad. If the bees are coming in heavy, they can land on that then walk into the door in the hive. And that's it, you've got a new beehive.